Narp, come watch, it's time, set the clock. Hitting like Ray off the block. Feel like MJ with the rock. Home run like Sammy Sosa. 2 clutch last period. Get ready, set, go. This a NARP experience. It's a NARP experience. It's a NARP experience. It's a NARP experience. It's a NARP experience.
Back to the NARP experiment. We're here with NFL draft season.
It's draft season.
If you're watching this video, chances are you're about to watch the draft, or you already watched the draft and you want to go back and see what we got right, what we got wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get right into it. Obviously, the first pick of the draft this year is going to go to the Jaguars, and we all know who they're taking. We've known who they were going to take for. It was the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes. We knew it all along.
Yep.
We've been waiting for him. Trevor Lawrence, no brainer. Don't even need to explain it.
No,
there
we can.
You go.
Yeah, we can briefly just say real quick. It's Trevor Lawrence. I mean, this, like you said, it's a sweepstakes. The Jaguars have been waiting to make this pick forever, and they'll finally make it tomorrow night, tonight, whenever you're apparently watching this. But that'll be the pick. And then on to the second one, though. We've got the New York Jets. Dex, tell me who they're picking. Got a lot of options here, quarterback options. What we got?
Zach Wilson. This is the worst kept secret the past couple of weeks is that they've settled on Zach Wilson as their next quarterback. So if it's not Zach Wilson, I'll literally be shocked, as will you. Everyone will be. This is the worst kept secret, just behind Trevor Lawrence. So these two picks pretty much have been chopped up, set in stone for a couple of weeks now. So Jets are going forward with Zach Wilson. They get their guy going forward. Apparently they didn't like Darnold. Whatever went wrong with that.
Yeah, they're moving on from that experiment. I think that wasn't supposed to last as long as, of course, they wanted to. But, yeah, they're clearly going to move on and look at a young prospect from BYU.
No, next up, this is probably the most controversial pick of the draft.
Yep.
Because, I mean, there's just been a lot of drama. Everyone knows, if you've been paying any attention, to other reports of who the Niners are going to select. And over the past 2 weeks, they've really started to hone in on Mac Jones being their guy to go with. And it's either going to be him or Trey Lance. And according to some reports that came out, Shanahan likes Mac Jones. And
it seems like they're saying. It seems like they're saying he's the safer pick at the moment. It seems like they're the one they've been most comfortable with throughout the entire draft process. I think they're definitely picking QB here. A lot of people, of course, want it to be Justin Fields, but I have a feeling, and I think so do you, that he'll slide a little bit in this draft.
Yeah. There was a report that it's Mac Jones or Trey Lance, and apparently Shanahan likes Mac Jones. And it just seems like more of the kind of prototypical quarterback for a Shanahan offense. So basically a Matt Ryan situation, I think.
Right. Moving on to the fourth pick, we got your Atlanta Falcons. I know we and you kind of briefly talked about maybe some possible trades with this pick, but I think when you're Atlanta trying to win now, you got to take the best possible prospect. Dex, who are they taking?
Slam dunk. Kyle Pitts, 10-year starter, Hall of Famer, Pro Bowler, All-Pro. Slam dunk, best player in the draft, not named Trevor Lawrence, and even then arguably might be better. Mel Kiper's highest graded, highest rated tight end he's ever scouted. And, so they take the best player available. They get Pitts. Don't overthink it. Don't trade. Don't take a quarterback. We can worry about that later because we can't cut Matt Ryan. He makes too much money. I don't know what we're doing with Julio. Hopefully we hang on to him because I think if you keep Matt Ryan, you might as well go all in. And we just add another weapon to the offense that will be terrifying if we can add a running back, which apparently we want to do on day 2. So we'll have Pitts, Julio, Ridley. That's absolutely terrifying for other offenses.
That's disgusting for the league. That's
we'll
going to be disgusting.
We'll win 8 games and we'll give up 45 points a game, but we'll score 42. So.
Right, but honestly, like you said, Mel Kiper said he's the greatest talent he's ever seen at that position, which is going to bode crazy for the league moving forward here over the next, who knows, decade or so, however long the man lasts. But he's clearly a talent, probably the most athletic person we've ever seen at that position for sure. So it's going to be awesome to see him in a pass-heavy offense with Matt Ryan.
Yep.
On to the 5th pick, got the Bengals. They can go a couple different ways here. I don't really know what exactly they're going to target, whether they want to get some protection for Burrow or want to find him a weapon, as they lost A.J. Green, who, of course, has been in and out of the game for years now with just injuries and stuff. So, but they're going with Jamar Chase here, the wide receiver out of LSU. Stack talent. What do you like about his game and what you'll see with that with the Bengals?
Well, I mean, he's the number one wideout in the draft, I think. This LSU connection with Burrow and Chase again, so there's a little chemistry already there. And I personally I think they should go with Sewell here instead of Chase, but the GM for the Bengals came out and said that he thinks this draft is deeper at offensive line than it is at wideout. So they go ahead and just get their wideout here. I'm assuming if in such scenario, they will try to get another lineman that they can trust or someone they're comfortable with going forward in a later round. But I will note, too, they've had just some unfortunate luck with the linemen they've drafted the past couple of years. I know they got Billy Price out of Ohio State, and they got, was it Jonah Williams, maybe? I don't remember his name. The tackle out of Alabama, I believe, last year or the year before. They've just had bad luck with their offensive linemen. If those guys can get healthy and be what they were projected to be, even if they're just starting level linemen, then their line should be better than it was last year. And hopefully Burrow doesn't have to keep breaking records for the wrong reasons, getting sacked. So Jamar Chase here, at least it'll help him spread the ball out more. Maybe
right. And I was also going to say
someone else will be open. He can get the ball out a little quicker, and has a little more trustworthy wide receiver core than he had last year.
Right, and then that moves us on to the Dolphins pick. Didn't mean to interrupt, but the Dolphins will, of course, take Sewell if, of course, the Cincinnati Bengals do not.
Yeah.
They need all the line help they can possibly get, and he should be the first one off the board, I believe. Yeah, it's first tackle, first lineman off the board, so we'll see him head to Miami. And then moving on, we have a trade here at the 7th pick. Dex, break it down.
So the Lions, apparently they wanted to move up to get a wide receiver. Maybe they do just stay put here and take Waddle, take Devontae Smith. Maybe we hear that the Patriots have been trying to get into the top 10 to get a quarterback. Maybe because the Lions need everything under the sun right now. Maybe they just get some assets. The Patriots send them a good offer. They'll move down to 15. The Patriots move into the top 10. We haven't taken Trey Lance here at number 7. Belichick gets his quarterback going forward, and
I like that pick a lot. It'll bring some competition there in the room with Cam Newton, I think, which will bode well for him because, of course, all the rumors were Stidham was the next guy, but that never came to fruition, and it looks like they're trying to move on and find someone to literally solidify their future, whether it be Cam Newton or not.
And who better to learn from than, obviously Cam has his own flaws and his own issues as a quarterback. But, as a mobile, young quarterback in the league, I couldn't think of only a handful of better guys to learn from the ways to be a pro other than Cam. So I think that would be a good fit. Obviously, they still have holes they need to fill too, but that's on them to fill, not us. Here we haven't taken Lance, number 7.
Right. And then
number 8.
Got another
trade.
Got another one.
Yep. The Panthers, they just they signed Darnold. Maybe they do stay here and take Fields. Maybe they have a competition. Maybe they don't take Fields. Maybe they add a weapon to go with Darnold out there in that offense. Maybe they just go best player available. Who knows? But what I do know is that the Washington football team needs a quarterback, and Justin Fields has now fallen. And instead of letting him fall to the Broncos or anyone who could potentially be trading with the Broncos for their pick, because the Broncos just got Bridgewater from the Panthers, ironically enough.
Yep.
Washington decides to just go to number 8. They send an offer to the Panthers they can't refuse. They end up taking Justin Fields. They get their quarterback of the future going forward. Hopefully it doesn't end up like Dwayne Haskins did.
Yeah.
The long list of Ohio State quarterbacks who haven't made it work. But They like what they see. They trade up. They get a quarterback.
Yeah, I like the fit here. Like you said, hopefully the Ohio State product being in Washington doesn't fall short, with the previous players there and personnel. But I definitely think Justin Fields has to be a top 10 pick. I'm surprised, with how we have this mock going, that he might, some other teams might scurry around and have interest in him. But honestly, Washington needs a full reset when it comes to that position. And what better chance than taking a risk on Justin Fields? Even though it might not be a risk, he might be the best.
At 8, if you can get a guy who a lot of teams probably have as potentially even the number 2 quarterback on some teams' boards, number 2, number 3.
Exactly.
And you get him at 8, that ain't too bad, especially in a draft like this.
Right.
So moving on, we have number 9, Denver. We haven't taken Micah Parsons here. The talent is just undeniable. The potential is undeniable. They've had injuries the past couple of years to their edge rushers, with Von Miller kind of falling off a cliff a little bit. I'm not saying he's washed, but the production's just not there anymore. And Chubb has been injury prone. And they just have another guy into the mix to terrorize Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert for some more time. So the talent is undeniable there. You can't go wrong. Just an absolute freak of nature athlete, Micah Parsons. In any other draft, I don't think he'd fall this far, even with his character concerns. So they potentially get the best player on the defensive side of the field in the entire draft.
Yeah, he's definitely the best. He's definitely the best defensive player in this entire draft. We know that. It'll be a steal for them because we know that they've had their issues defensively over the last couple of years, especially with the aging in Von Miller and just that defensive front. It'd definitely be nice to breathe some new life over there in Denver. And of course, if they don't get their quarterback, they need all the defensive help they can get right away. And that moves us on to our 10th pick with the Cowboys. They're taking the best secondary player in the draft, and Patrick Surtain the second from Alabama. Easily the best corner in the draft. Dak, just give me a couple notes on him. How he'll fit with Dallas. They've always needed that secondary help, I feel like. So
he'll stick to him like glue. Dan Quinn loves his corners. He tried to recreate the Legion of Boom in Atlanta. Didn't really work, but he really likes those guys in the corners that can just shut down people and man-to-man and control zones and not cover 3. So he'll get what he wants. I just think it's a perfect fit for him.
Yeah,
there's a couple other corners in the draft that are good too. It's arguable whether it's Surtain or not, but personally, I think Surtain is the best. And I think the Cowboys get a home run here.
Oh yeah,
they don't overthink it. Just take what you need and take what's good.
Take the best talent on the board. I do too. Let's just go rapid fire here for these last 20 picks. We'll just kind of briefly talk about 11 through 15, and 16 through 20, 21 through 25, and then 26 through about 32. Any highlights here? We've got the Giants, then Eagles, then Chargers, then Vikings, then Lions. We've got the Giants taking Slater, the tackle out of Northwestern, Jalen Waddle, the highly coveted wideout out of Alabama, going to Philly. Then we've also got the other wideout across from him, Devontae Smith, heading to Detroit through that trade that they did with New England at the 15th. What's your just thoughts on those 5 picks in the area?
Nothing flashy, just teams getting their linemen that they need desperately. And then obviously the Bama wide receivers are going here. And I would be surprised, honestly, if they did fall this far. But, that's super good value. For the Eagles, they've been messing up wide receiver picks for the past couple of years. This one, I don't think they could mess up if they tried. You just take one of the Bama guys, they'll both produce for you. I think they go wild. I think he probably projects a little bit safer than Devontae Smith does. So they get a good wideout. And then at 15, they move back from 7 to 15, the Lions, and they still get a wideout that they potentially could have even taken at 7.
Right, yeah, so, Devontae Smith was clearly good enough to be a top 10 pick, and if the Lions can find a way to get some value in that actual trade, of course we just did the swap, but they'll of course get some value from moving back, and I think that's a steal. You get Jared Goff, a playmaker out there now that, wide receiver from Detroit just left, who's been there for some years. Why am I trying to think? Yep, Galladay, yep, and also his running mate that was across from him as well. So this will just breathe some new life as far as the wide receiver room goes for Detroit.
Yeah.
And then,
they need everything to get to. So obviously the Pats are probably giving up a couple more picks too. Obviously,
right.
I don't know exactly what they would be, but they're getting assets and they're getting a good player still at 15. So likely this is a good scenario for them to end up in. They still get a wide receiver they needed.
Right.
Then we jump into the next 5 picks. We have 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And we have the Cardinals getting Christian Barmore out of Bama. He's had a little bit of a character concern issues pop up the past week. So, I mean, he could fall here. I have no idea how that's going to affect his draft stock, but still should be a good player. Still probably the best interior defensive lineman in the draft. And we all know the Cardinals could use that. Have him go play with J.J. Watt. That defense, if front at least, with Chandler Jones and them, should be really entertaining if that happened. Trayvon Moore got a TCU. They get a free safety guy to match with Abrams out there in Las Vegas. So that's a good match there. Got Jeremiah Owusu-Karamoah from Notre Dame going to the Dolphins. They got Sewell earlier in the draft. They got Karamoah here to lead their defense on the inside. I just really like that pick for them.
Yep.
They just they get a leader on the defensive end and younger. And I mean, the Dolphins weren't that bad last year. They almost made the playoffs. So they're just getting good players across the board so far.
They need all the talent they can possibly get just across the board, like you said, because they were very close last year and they kind of surprised a lot of people. They just need the best talent as much as possible. So
Carmo is the best linebacker in the draft. It's pretty consensus there. So. They get him here. J.C. Horn at 19 to the Panthers. Honestly, he's good enough to go top 10. The Panthers here, they trade back from 8, 19, get J.C. Horn. Another situation where you can't be mad. I think these are win-win trades for the teams that traded up and the teams that traded back, at least in these scenarios. So they get him. J.C. Horn, arguably the best corner in the draft, like I said earlier. Greg Newsome now, cornerback at Northwestern. He stays local. Goes to Chicago, the Bears. They get another corner. Their aging defense get a little bit younger there. They're always going to be fighting to stay close. This is another team I'd keep an eye on if they trade up to a quarterback. I don't know specifically if they have an eye set on one of them in specific, but I mean, Trubisky didn't work out. They can't keep having Nick Foles type of dudes and Glennon type of dudes there forever. They got to do something. So, I mean, this is the team I'd look out to to possibly also move up and take a quarterback, or maybe in the later round, not second round, third round, take like a Trask type of.
Yeah, there's a chance that Chicago will move up to possibly get that next guy. I mean, we did just see them move on from Trubisky and Foles, and we'll see what that quarterback room is going to look like come draft night, but I don't think that's not a bad thing for them to look into, especially because of the non-consistency, or I should say inconsistency at that position the last few seasons.
Especially if they're
right.
Seems like it's always coming down to a possession, and it's always
the quarterback.
It's a game that should have been in hand comfortably for them, but they just can't seem to control the game.
Right.
Then we got
21 through 26, 27-ish era. Just some ones to look out. We've got Pay heading to New York. The Jets at 23 through that trade with Seattle.
Good value.
Yeah, great value. I mean, he's probably the best edge, if not. And then, of course, my Pittsburgh Steelers, if you guys didn't see I'm repping here, they take Najee Harris. And I know a lot of people are saying not to take a running back to start in the first round to start this draft, but the talent that Najee Harris is and what Pittsburgh really needs is to find that guy that can replace that room like Le'Veon Bell used to once do for so many years. They need that kind of guy who can make the plays, running and after the catch. And Najee Harris would just be so much fun to see in the black and yellow. I think that's a no-brainer pick. We have Tevin Jenkins from OK State heading to Jacksonville there at the 25th pick. Just another tackle. They need all the help they can get on that offensive line before they even figure out their quarterback issues moving forward. You have Zaven Collins from Tulsa.
Don't forget the wideouts either earlier for the Colts and the Titans. They each get a wideout. They both need them.
Bateman and Moore.
In their wide receiver room. And Elijah Moore reunites with A.J. Brown, another Ole Miss graduate there, and I think that helps both those teams.
For sure. I mean, both those quarterbacks need all the weapons they can get as well right now with their situation, especially because those defenses for both those teams are pretty good right now, so they're probably looking to win now right now offensively. And then lastly, looking at the Baltimore Ravens, just taking Jalen Phillips, the edge rusher at 27. Dex, what are your thoughts on that guy?
Well, quick too with Zaven Collins, he's a freak athlete, super fast, super quick athlete. Stick him there in the middle of that defense, and I can't imagine them having too many issues in Cleveland stopping any team really. That helps them shore up their whole defense with a linebacker versatile as he is. Jalen Phillips, he was an absolute stud coming out in high school. Went to UCLA, had some concussions. Fell out of love with football, actually came back to Miami, looks every bit of the part of an NFL player, and some people could argue he's the best edge in this class. So, yeah, I think him going to the Ravens is a classic. I feel like every year I watch the Ravens pick, I'm just like, of course they get him, of course they get him, of course they get him. This is another scenario where, of course, they get him. He just comes in. They need help on that edge. They've lost a couple of guys in the past few years. He just steps in and produces. They all do. Of course they get him. It's the Ravens. Their D-line is always good. It doesn't matter who you throw out there. It seems for them that they're set. And he's a high upside player too. I mean, he could potentially be a 10-sack guy. So love that. Then you get Farley to the Saints, and there's rumors that they were willing to even trade up for him. He's had a lot of concerns, didn't play this year. His ACL, some back surgeries. Now he's got COVID-19. Guy can't catch a break. But guess what? He falls to the Saints. Who knows if that'll be good or bad.
They would love that at the secondary position. They would love that. Just a match with Lattimore. I mean, just the future would look bright in that secondary if they could find a way to pull Farley, especially if he drops this far. Not saying he's not up to get him. But right, exactly. Like especially with all his issues, lingering issues, like you just alluded to, that would be a really good pick for them.
Green Bay gets Terrace Marshall Jr. This was the guy who was supposed to be their lead their wide receiver core the past couple of years. So big time slept on a guy at LSU. Didn't have the production as Chase and Justin Jefferson did, but the talent is definitely there. Green Bay needs it. I remember what was it? One of those Monday night games they had, or Thursday night games they had. They had like practice squad players stepping up out there.
Yep. It was, and you know, Aaron Rodgers wasn't all for it, especially with coming out of last year's draft when they took Jordan Love with their first draft pick.
That was the game that Tunyon went off and had like 3 touchdowns.
And he finally, Tunyon came onto the scene, and people were like, "Oh, let me pick up this guy in fantasy." I was one of them.
We see the playoff game last year too for Green Bay. They couldn't move the ball, they couldn't score. This will help them. Or at least be a step in the right direction to help them solve that issue. Just give Aaron some more talent on that side of the ball.
Right, and then you have the Buffalo Bills taking Jason Owa, an edge from Penn State. These last few picks were all edge players, so you can mix and match with who these teams are thinking of. But you're looking at Jason Owa to the Buffalo Bills. Just continue to solidify that defense. Why not get another edge rusher out there to continue building some pressure? That way you can get Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs on the field as much as possible.
I wouldn't be surprised if Asante Samuel Jr. went to the Bills either. If he does fall that far and he's still available on the board, wouldn't be surprised if they took him either.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot, to be honest. I think Asante Samuel has a little bit of his dad in him, so that would be just fun to see him, of course, be a first-round pick in some way, shape, or form. And then we head back to the Ravens. Just like you said, the rich get richer. They take Ojulari from Georgia, another edge player, to match on the opposite side there of Jalen Phillips from Miami. That would be fun. That'd be fun.
They got Rousseau instead, and they just ended up with both
Miami guys right
going up here to Baltimore, and they both just
kill it on opposite sides. Yep.
It's like they never lost any other guys this last offseason. So yeah, that'd be ideal in Baltimore.
But we do have
Rousseau. Maybe they don't double dip here, but who knows? I mean, maybe they do take a wide out. Kadarius Toney's another guy you could look for. Rondale Moore. is another guy you could look for to go here out of Purdue. So there's a couple other options. Maybe they do go wide out. It wouldn't surprise me if they did that. It wouldn't surprise me if they got another edge rusher. Ojulari fits the bill. He looked good in the playoff games. He looked good throughout the season.
Yep.
For Georgia last year. So and then just top it off with the Bucks. They get Gregory Rousseau, another edge rusher out of VU, and he was highly touted before the year started. Still ends up being a first-round pick.
And he goes to the Super Bowl champs.
And he stays home. He goes to the champs. The swagger is there.
They're ready to run it back. So
champs. Yeah. So I mean, as a rookie, you can't be too mad. You go there, you get some playing time,
get some experience.
One of the few positions they even need. And he gets to slide in there and play. His job's easy because they got Shaq Barrett coming off the other side.
They've got Sue still. They've got
Sue in the middle.
They've got a bunch of guys still. He'll have a huge room to learn from.
So if he can win them, they're there for him. So.
He has a huge room to learn from. I think that'd be awesome fit. Like you said, he gets to stay down here in the South. That'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, that's our quick rapid fire mock draft. I know it's maybe not super rapid fire. We're still about 20-25 minutes in, but I'm just going to go ahead and put all of our selections here on the screen for you guys. We'll run it back one more time here for you so you can see what we've got. As you can see, we've got Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase, Sewell, Lance, Fields, Parsons, and then the rest is history, as you can continue seeing here. But guys, let us know what your thoughts in the comments section below. And then tomorrow, of course, or tonight, depending on when you're watching this, we can compare, our selections here with what really happened. But it's going to be a very exciting night, very exciting time, and we'll see who your favorite teams end up taking. But that's it right there. Dex, any last words, thoughts, other than let's go Pittsburgh?
Nah, all I gotta say is please, Atlanta Falcons, do not trade Julio Jones. Run it back. Take Kyle Pitts. Get a running back in the second round. Take Travis Etienne if he's there. If Najee Harris is there somehow, please take him.
No.
I know we need a better defense, but trust in Arthur Smith. Our offense will be unstoppable, and it'll lead us to the promised land. And I mean, we can't build a defense. We would have done it once in the past 50 million years. And so just play to your strengths, go offense, go out there, be unstoppable, be undeniable, win the championship.
And the Pittsburgh Steelers, this is my open letter to you. Do whatever you can to get Najee Harris. I don't care if that means you have to move up, if you have to move down. You get Najee Harris, you worry about the linemen later. I promise you will not regret it. This guy will be your running back for at least the next 6 to 10 years. Please, Pittsburgh, do not F this up. And that'll do it, folks. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of NARP Experiment. We'll see you guys soon.
Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to the NARP Experiment. Please hit a like and subscribe on your way out. We'll see you next game.
Home run like Sammy Sosa. 2 clutch last period. Get ready, set, go. This is a NARP Experience. It's a NARP Experience. This is a NARP Experience. This is a NARP Experience. This is a NARP Experience.